Okay. So, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, this video is a little different because I'm starting a series where I call people who are cancer survivors or caretakers and healthcare providers so that they can share their experience with us and, in a way, spread awareness. You all heard a lot about me. Now it's time that you hear from people. So, today we have our first guest. Her name is Jenita Rajiv, and she is a student. She's just 21 years old and she is pursuing biotechnology, and she has had a rare kind of cancer. I will let her talk about it more. And she is a childhood cancer survivor like me, and then she also had a relapse. So our story is a bit similar, so I really can relate to her. So that is how we met, and that is how we became friends. Can call each other friends. So she's so young. She also has a podcast of her own called the Gen Z Talk, and I think I will link the description, and you should watch it. It's really nice. Her dad also wrote a book about her journey, about her struggles as a childhood cancer survivor. So the book is called Fearless in Battle. It is available on Amazon. I will also put the link of that book in my description. If you really want to see uh, or you want to read about her, then you can always get that book. Here she is, Jenita Rajiv. Hi.
Hello, everyone of Yasmine's channel. It's in your YouTube channel, right?
Yes, it's my YouTube channel. I don't want to put another different channel for people to get confused. So it's gonna be in a different playlist, and it'll
Okay.
be just series of interviews. I don't want to call it a podcast also because it's not a podcast. It's just me trying to spread awareness through other people. So
Yeah.
okay then. How are you?
At the moment, I'm doing good by God's grace, and yeah,
So before we start, I would want you to speak a little bit about yourself and about your journey.
yeah. I think if I start, I'll be speaking till tomorrow or something. It's a
Mhm.
very long journey, but I was diagnosed initially when I was 13, so I was just a child then. I was in eighth standard, and the entire thing began then. And I went through surgery, chemo, radiation, all of those normal standard things. And 2017 end, I went into remission. For me, it was like, okay, I'm cancer free now. I never thought, okay, I'm in remission or something because I wasn't too aware of all those terms and everything. So I thought of it like that. But fast forward like 3 years later, I had just prepared for my medical entrance exam. So I had given that exam. I was training a lot because of that, because I was like studying a lot. And immediately after the exam, I had some of these symptoms which I thought were new. So I had like numbness in my feet, and I was finding it hard to balance and stuff. So we thought we'd go to the doctor. We went to the doctor, and he told it might be some side effects from the previous treatment or something like that. But just as a precaution, he told let's do a MRI. So they did an MRI, and then they found out that the cancer is back. So ever since then, that was like October of 2021. I was 18 then. I've been going through treatment for my relapse, and yeah, I mean, I think it'll go on for a while. It's just on and off, so it depends on the scans and what the doctors show. But other than that, I just took a gap year and I joined college because I was like, I can't wait for this cancer entire thing to get over. I think anyone who goes through cancer knows it's like a long journey. It just doesn't, they don't give you an end date. That's the case with me.
One question from what you said. You didn't
Hmm.
know about what remission was, and
Yeah.
I would just want you to tell a little bit about it. And when you had a relapse, how did you feel at that moment? Because you were very young, you wanted to be a doctor, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're giving your medical exams. Wow, after suffering so much, you still want to see more of the hospital. That's great. And
I'll
then
answer back to that also.
I know, and now you're doing biotechnology, right? Oh my
Yes.
god. But before that, you just let the audience know what a remission period is, because for us, we know
Hmm.
it. But for a
Yeah.
person who is new in these things, they should know what that period is all about.
Once you're first diagnosed with cancer, once it goes away, so the scan shows like no evidence of disease or something like that, then the doctors usually say you're in remission. That cancer free mark usually comes like 5 years after you're in remission.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. But people take it like, okay, like once you get a clear scan, you're like, okay, naturally it comes. Oh, the cancer is gone now, so I'm cancer free, people say, but that's actually a wrong term. I discovered it only like after relapse. I was like, oh, this is what it was.
Today's main our topic is the misconception of cancers. Okay, so when we talk about misconception, the remission period and the cancer free is also one misconception that people have for people who have had cancer earlier. I never used the term cancer free or what cured very loosely, because I get really scared using those terms, because I think once you've had cancer, you're not really cured ever, because then you always have that fear of getting it again. So what do you think about people using these terms like cancer free and cured?
See, there is some truth to what you're saying. There are some people who will always be like, like what do they say, like chronic cancer patients. Like you'll have to go
Mm,
through it through your life. Some people are there like that. I think even we would fall into that category because we just
mm,
have to keep going on with treatment. There's no like date or there's no protocol for your treatment to get over. But you can celebrate each milestone because I feel like going through treatment once itself is like such a big deal. If you are strong in your emotions and all of that, that's why there was one I think debate. I think in US they have something like after you finish your treatment protocol, they ring the bell
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
yeah. I always thought that one day I'll ring that bell, and that never came now.
then never. Yeah, so on the other side of the category are patients like us who think we will never ring that bell. So it's a thin line. Okay, if there are people who like to celebrate milestones and stuff like that, okay, you go. But you should always be aware of the fact. Don't ignore anything. Saying
Mm,
okay that I'm cancer free now. I think people with cancer know that you can't ignore any symptom or something. So even
exactly.
after you're cancer free or something, anything small pops up, it's better to go get it checked. So that is the thing. But I think it's clearer if you tell everyone that you're in remission instead of saying I'm cancer
See,
free.
I think so too. I think that the word remission should be used more rather than saying you're cancer free. I'm not saying that that person is not cancer free or anything like that, but I just feel like this is a better word. It keeps you, it keeps you grounded in some way when it
Yeah.
comes to cancer, because I always used to say I'm cancer free, for all those years, because I was cancer free for 17 years, no?
But
So,
that is became cancer free. Yasmin, that is a different because see after that 5 year mark, you become cancer. I'm saying, see, like people like me, in that 3 year period itself which I had, I was like I'm cancer free everyone. Like that. You can't say that because that's not technically what it is. You want to believe that. That is a sad
mm,
reality that everyone wants to believe that they're cancer free. Nobody wants to go through this ordeal again and again. So that is the thing. It's a very sad thing actually.
because I said cancer free so much, I did not take it seriously. You know,
Mm.
I didn't go for regular checkups anymore. I stopped doing that, and I was taking it very lightly. And actually, that is what I want to get to, because when we take it lightly and we say cancer free so much that we do not care anymore, that is wrong. I think we should always go for checkups and all of that if we have had cancer before. I think that's my view on it. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you still studying even after you were, like, you relapsed and then you continued with your studies. But how do you manage your studies and your your treatment at the same time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like in between all of this cancer thing, it's better to have a distraction because I feel like if I sit at home, do nothing, I'll go mad. That's what
Hmm.
I always tell. I took a gap year actually after the relapse, after I gave my medical entrance exams and all of the results also came, but I was like going through intense chemo that time. But after that, I was like, I have to go outside because the weight of this entire what you're going through, it really plays in your mind. You start actually getting depressed. So it's better to go outside and have a different identity because otherwise people always know you as a sick person who's staying at home and you feel so left out, like you see,
Mhm.
I think we spoke about this, but you see your siblings and everyone's going ahead with their lives and you're just feeling stuck up like what am I doing in my life? So I was like, okay, I have to go outside and see. I'm so grateful that people were there who encouraged me to take that decision because now almost I've just completed my second year of college. If I
Oh,
wouldn't have taken that step, I wouldn't have been able to. I would still be sitting. Okay, let me finish treatment and then start my studies. Now
Yeah.
then nothing would have happened. So I feel like that was a good thing which I did.
Initially, I was like, let me finish the treatment, then I'll do this. Let me finish then. And then
Hmm.
I saw that this is not ending at all. So I was like, oh, forget it. I'll just do what I have to do. So for
Exactly.
me, continuing studies was a bit difficult because
Yeah.
I have mobility issues. So
But I feel like you had finished your studies. No, you finished law and all. That's like such a
I wanted
big.
to do masters. I had bigger dreams. So anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
at least I finished my graduation. So that's
Yeah.
good. And so, like when you said people around you supported you a lot, how important is for people to really believe in you that you can do it even though you're going through something that's difficult?
Yeah, that's also a good question. See, first of all, I said people. People means like two or three
Two,
persons.
I think, yeah, yeah.
There are like not lots of people supporting you because I don't know. After a point, this disease becomes such a long thing that I think they also get tired of keeping in touch.
Mm-hmm.
They just go out of touch. You lose
Yeah,
connections. You lose your friends and all of that. I think you would also have experienced that. That is
experienced, yes.
so, but having someone who doesn't look at you a certain way, like with pity or thinking like, oh, poor thing, like, what's she
Mm-hmm.
going? That's so important because if the moment somebody looks at you like that, like, oh, look at her, she's going through so much, then you start having that thing, oh, I am going through so much. But at the
Yeah,
same time, if somebody looks at you and says, oh, I believe in you, you can do this, you got this, you're so much more than cancer, then
exactly.
at that moment you feel so empowered, you feel like okay, I can do anything, and you just go and live your life. It's so important to have people who believe in you, like.
So for you, people like young as you are, who is
Yeah.
like going to college, I've seen many who get really scared and shy to go to college because
Yeah.
obviously the hair loss. Then obviously, I think you have gone to college with no hair, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah. So the hair loss, the way people treat you differently after you have had cancer,
Mhm.
So how did that go with you? Were like your college people good to you, or were they treating you differently, or did you feel different?
I definitely felt different because I was not the same Janita before the treatment and everything started. My stamina, everything was low. I was in that. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
Have you seen Levin? That was my exact hairstyle, like when I went to college. And I had like a pick line on my arm and all of that. But I used to like mostly try and wear full sleeves or something in car. Or have you seen that? I don't know what elastic band comes on in case you get a sprain or something in your arm. Like that I used to wear. So like, but I feel college was really good. In school, I was judged a lot more than I was in college. In
Okay.
college, people might have been thinking things, but they didn't come and tell it straight to my
Hmm.
face. In school,
You
that
did
people,
more grown up.
yeah, people are more mature, people are more accepting in college. But yeah, given that, I was also absent from college a lot. Like I used to go for my exams and stuff, but in between treatment and all of that, so I didn't really get the chance to experience college life and make friends in the first year of my college at all. That's why the second year was much better because finally they stopped all of that chemo and all. They were like, okay, you just come, we'll do something in between. So that was the case. But yeah, I feel like it was not as bad as I thought it would be. You have to get out of that nervous thing, like, oh, okay, what will people think of me and all, and just put yourself out there. I
Mhm.
don't know. I mean, I feel like you can put yourself out there without people thinking even more than me. I'm still scared, but I'm not that bad. I go to college and stuff. But I know. I mean, it's hard.
Like you said, to each their own, and I feel that yes, maybe that experience is there a lot because I had gone not less like as a normal person anymore to school,
Yeah.
especially like you said, school is something that is terrifying because kids can be mean. The students inside the school were not mean, but people outside the school, after it gets over and everybody, all the students from different school, when they get together at one place, the road
Yeah.
or anywhere where they are going home, that part was difficult as hell because everyone from everywhere you get a sort of judgment. So yeah, maybe that is the reason why, like you said, I am more out there because at this point I'm like nothing can shake me, break me, because they've done that already. I'm so proud of you that you still pursuing studies and you're doing what you're doing, and I feel that people, especially young people seeing this, will get so much motivation, encouragement, not only just people who have cancer in general, everyone. Like, when people they give up easily, they think that it's okay, I don't want to do it because I have this, I have that. But seeing you, and then seeing how you are still, you still have that hope that I will do something with my life, so that feeling you're giving people, and I'm so 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 proud of you. Like, I have that elder sister feeling. Yeah, so I'm really really happy for you and really proud of you, and I'm sure your family is equally proud of you.
Yeah,
So now we'll get to the little technical part of it. Okay, so people think that young people like us who are healthy and yada yada yada, they never get cancer. What do you think about that?
that's the biggest misconception. Yeah, I mean, look at both of us. We are we are living examples of that is a misconception. Can't you see? And there are so many more people like who get it. I mean, people should be more but we can't blame them also. We wouldn't have known unless we would have gone through this. But I feel
Exactly.
like in this era of digital technology which we are living in, you can read stuff, you can know more stuff, and just visit your cancer hospital sometimes. I mean, just go see. That gives you a different perspective altogether. You'll be able to see people from different age groups. So straight from newborn to people like us, and then to older people. Like so many people who are going through it. And I think first we need to educate ourselves on that and learn how we can not just have pity on them, but actually empathize with them.
Yes, I want to say that age does play a biggest role, especially in people who've never had cancer before. Okay,
Yeah,
like I've seen the statistic recently in India, 4% is always the pediatric section of
yeah,
cancer patients. I know that it's always good to not think about, but then I think that parents, especially in this generation, should get their kids checked every other year or something, like a full
mm,
body checkup at least once, keep them safe from everything else, not just cancer, anything at all, actually, to just
yeah,
keep them safe. Why? Because, like I used to say it everywhere, that what we eat now, what we drink now, everything is bad, not like it used
yeah,
to be, so I feel that not only talking about cancer, people from a very young age should start getting their kids get checked. Not just kids. Then there is like the young adults and
yeah.
everything. I think people know they avoid hospitals.
um, Yasmin, you should understand where they are also coming from because their worst case scenario is not cancer. Because we
Mm,
are the worst case scenario for us, we are like, wait, guys, I feel like you should be this thing, but there should be a better way to do this. And like you
mm,
said, like the lifestyle factors itself now is so bad.
mm,
Anything we eat, anything we drink, nothing is safe right now. Sometimes I tell my mom, we should just go somewhere like rural, have our own farm, grow our own vegetables, have our own animals, and live
no
like that.
one
Because
do that.
exactly, because it's literally so bad right now, everything. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. You should be more, what take any concern, don't take it lightly. Do whatever you have to do now, because there are many people who are actually scared of hospitals. They try to
Yeah, yeah.
self
I
medicate.
think that's the whole point of spreading awareness, for to make people go to the hospital to keep yourself safe, not to think that something bad might happen. We
Yeah.
don't want that. The mindset is that let's something bad will happen, so I have to get it myself. No,
Mm,
you're going there to just prevent that to happen. It's just a preventive measure. You just see from other countries' point of view,
mm,
they all have to go for health checkups every now and then. It's mandatory for them because the government makes it mandatory. So
mm.
our government is trying a lot, to bring about change and everything. But it's like, I think the people should also
Be
move
willing.
forward. They should also help them. So, like, so I feel that that's a whole point of spreading awareness. That's a whole point of saying that I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just
Mm,
want that you stay safe, because
mm.
of, like we said, because of the lifestyle and the way we living now, it's not as it used to be for
Yes.
the older generation. Like, they are strong till now, 100 years and everything. Why? Because they've had a very clean life. So we don't have that anymore. Not in this generation. I don't know what will happen to the next generation. I'm scared for them already. So
Exactly.
now the next thing is that is cancer always fatal? And what do you think about stages?
I feel like you're casually throwing deep questions and just like, what do you think?
What do you
And I'm
think?
like, yeah, so I'll say, cancer can be fatal. I mean, it is very fatal, and there are some people who just get diagnosed and within weeks or even months they're gone.
Mhm.
Thanking God that we both are still alive after so many years. Like, literally, it's His grace. But there are people who succumb to it because it is aggressive in some people, very aggressive, and some people it is not that aggressive. But
Mhm.
I feel like cancer is cancer. You can't like compare and say, okay, this is small cancer, big cancer, medium size cancer. It doesn't work like that. Doctors say sometimes, okay, if you okay, worst case scenario, you get cancer, but this is the best kind of cancer to get. Like it doesn't make sense. What cancer is best cancer? That is not how it works, but yeah, it is fatal. Like you have to do timely action and it's better to go and get treated early. Why do you want to wait till things are so bad that you can't even do basic stuff which is required for life, and then you'll go to the hospital and then you blame the hospital? See, that patient went to the hospital and they didn't save them. It's your fault also partly because you didn't go early. That is one thing.
Exactly. Oh my God.
And
Yes.
cancer,
Preach.
thanks, I'm preaching. And then even the cancer stages, that is not, see, I don't know. Some people get scared. Okay, I have stage 4 cancer. I have only 2 months left. I'll like that and all. They get scared. But there are people on the other side of the spectrum also who have stage 4 cancer. They live life so positively and everything. And before they know it, they've completed, even you, I can point same back at you. And before they know it, they complete so many years in treatment. I feel like your mindset also plays a very important role. If you think it's all over, you're adding more stress to your body. Why do you want to be so stressed? Like, just take it as it comes. I feel like I've always taken it like, okay, something like, suppose I have a cold, I have to treat the cold. I always initially at least used to think like that. Okay, it's cancer. I have to treat the cancer. The cancer is not going to take me away. I used to think like that. Like a cold don't take anyone away. Yeah, there are dark times where you get scared, you see reports and stuff like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, nothing is happening. But see, to be very frank, let me say, like, I feel like until like God tells us like to go on a certain date, we won't go. So why do you want to stress till that date? Anyone can have any disease, any accident. Everyone has expiry date. We all are talking like we don't have expiry date. We'll live forever. Oh, you have cancer, so you're gonna go. What? As if oh, so you're gonna live forever or what? We can ask them directly. Nobody is going to live forever, and yet they try to make this world seem like that. But
Mm.
yeah, like you should not get scared. Don't get scared. Oh, you have only 5% chance of surviving. You can be the 5%. Why do you want to think about 95% who didn't make it?
And then also the stage that they say that stage one, let's not treat, we'll go for Ayurvedic or something like that. I really think that cancer can get aggressive in a
Yeah.
month, in few weeks actually. So for people who take stage one very lightly and then
Hmm.
take stage four equally that seriously, okay. So I think there's no in between for people, like
And
no, like because until unless you have it, you don't know it. And like
hmm,
even though in my family we had a lot of cancer cases, we still talk like that
you are
because
advocating for a family. That's good.
if they listen, then the thing is that they say things like, oh, stage one, nothing will happen, and all of those things. And I feel it's a very, very wrong because stage one can be equally as bad as stage four. Stage four can be equally as good as stage one. You never know, for a
Yeah.
person like I am pretty damn sure I'm stage four. I never asked the doctor, by the way.
And
I
I also
just
asked the doctor, like, am I stage 1, stage 4? Hey, you have cancer, you have cancer. What is your thing? Like, you want to stage it also. We don't need that much
I feel
attention.
that stage, grade, all of that is for the doctors, not
It's
for
for the
us.
doctors, not for us. Exactly. What are we going to do
Yeah,
with it?
they should know because then they will accordingly give us medicines. It's for them to know, not for us to know. For
Exactly.
us, it's cancer. Let's take it seriously and let's deal with it. And people who think that Ayurvedic works and all, I have no issues with Ayurvedic. I love them, but I just think that that's more a preventive kind of a medicine than like something that will cure something as big as
I
cancer, because
know
it
many
takes.
people who've taken only Ayurvedic and have not made it. But I know many people who've taken Ayurveda or some kind of like other medicines to help during the treatment. So you're taking the
Mm.
standard treatment protocol, but you're taking this that
So
helps.
I think that that's also a misconception. People think that this homely remedies and all will cure them. It will help you definitely, no doubt about it. It will help you. It will help you boost your energy and all of that things. But at the same time, it is not going to cure, because these things work slowly, and
Yeah,
the cancer is not waiting for it to work. It will work on its own. That is growing.
but are damaging also. Like we don't
Mm,
even work. You're just taking it or damaging your organs taking it, and then you
exactly.
won't be able to take the real treatment.
Okay. Uh, so what you define as a normal life to you? Like, have had this normal feeling ever since you've had cancer? Like, since you've, like, obviously childhood, nah. So
Yeah,
you were 13.
yeah,
Just turned a teenager, and I
yeah,
know that I don't feel like I've had a normal life ever.
yeah.
So, but what is a normal life according to you?
See, your normal life is where you're carefree, basically, you're not worried about anything. And I
Mm,
feel like that is always stolen away from anyone who's diagnosed with cancer because you lose your life, how you were living. This entire world itself, it sucks you in this cancer world. And you're like, Arey, I was just drinking tea and not worrying about death and all, and now here I'm what is this going on? I mean, you don't worry about death, but then you're like going to the hospital all the time. You're seeing such gore stuff. You're seeing the ICU. You are seeing people dying. You're seeing people so sick. That itself takes a toll mentally for you. And at
mm,
one point of time, you are the sick person. You are in the ICU. You are in this thing. That is a different story. But I'm just saying normally what it is, right? So that affects you, and cancer takes away normalcy or sense of normalcy that you once had. So I feel like it's okay to sometimes be sad and think, okay, I lost my normal life and stuff like that. But get over it because now this is your new normal. You have to accept reality. Don't just be mourning the past that you don't take action in the present. In the future, we look back and say, okay, things were better then, still we were so sad. So it's better to
mm.
be happy in the moment and try and live a normal life. That's what you can do. You can just try. You will go on. I mean, that's how we've been going on.
Yeah, it's. I feel like you said, normalcy is always taken away. You don't
Yeah.
have normal life anymore, and even when you have like a second of feeling like, this is feeling normal, and then that happiness is sometimes scary. I get
Yeah.
really scared to be happy. Do you get scared to be happy?
I don't get scared to be happy. I get sad that, okay, this moment of happiness might not last forever. And I think that is, yeah, scary to think about. Like the stability which you have now might be taken away from you any moment. It's weird, but we have to accept it and go on.
Acceptance is the only key right here. Sometimes I get, like, sometimes people are like, how are you doing it? It's like, do I ever have a choice though?
That how are you doing question is if no those kind of people you should avoid. And how are you like how can you answer the entire how are you doing in that question? I don't understand. Like that question never worked for me.
What do you think about preventive measures of cancer? Do you think that cancer can be prevented if we try to, or is it like, if it has to happen, it will happen? What do you think about it?
I think I think both factors. See, prevention is really useful, especially like for screening and all of those programs which they have for older people and for they say every woman to get screened, no, like yearly for mammograms, and even men to do all that. I forgot what this is called. Something they check your colon and all. Do those annual health checkups, especially for people above 40. I think you should do it because right now, at the rate of the stress that people have and all of that, lots of factors play into this. So if you can detect it early, it's best. But for
Mm,
people who are asymptomatic, now I don't understand that also how it works because there are
mm,
some people who are completely asymptomatic. For older people, you can find it out. If you do screening and they're asymptomatic, you can find out. But younger people usually don't go for screening and stuff like that because it's the last thing on your minds. So asymptomatic comes into another category, but Definitely, if you feel like there's something wrong with you, please go to the doctor. Don't like say, okay, it's nothing. And
Mhm.
people who have access to screening and doing yearly health checkups and all, you
Mhm.
definitely, it's better to do
So
that.
like you said, the asymptomatic factor. So that is why I say that regular health checkups is important, not
Hmm.
only for cancer. Again, I'm emphasizing on this a lot, that not only for cancer, for anything, get your
Exactly.
health. Why do people not take health seriously, which is the most important part of everything, like if you're
All
not
that.
healthy, can't do anything. Yeah, so
Exactly.
I am not only advocating for cancer here, I'm actually saying it in general. Go for health checkups, like generally, because
Hmm.
when it is at that stage, when you find out that you have something really bad, then you have to go through more things. But if you
Exactly.
catch small things earlier, then you can treat them easily and get rid of them.
Hmm.
So why is health not important is my question. Like, why do we not take health checkups in our state, like in our country, that seriously? It's like annually everybody should do it, like at least once, like.
Yeah, many people don't have access. Like in Tata Memorial and all, you see, majority of the patients are like really poor, like poverty line kind of patients. What will they do about them? For them, they can only just wait for those screenings which come, but they
Mm,
don't have access. People who are educated should take measures because you have
exactly.
access. So then you should not take what you have for granted because there are many people who don't, and they would
Don't
love to be
exactly.
in your position. So if
Exactly.
you have access, please just go for it. Health is important. I mean, if you die, you can't see anything in life. Like that should be as clear as it is, right? You are
Mm,
alive only because your health is good. If you're not,
exactly.
if your health is not good, how will you be able to function? Don't take it for granted. Don't do bad habits and stuff like that because you're poisoning your own body.
And I feel like you said, for the people who are poor or from rural areas and all, I think though the government is taking initiatives, I will give that to them. They are somewhere, many government hospitals, they do door to door also, they do go to
Yeah,
places, and then they set up a camp, and things are
yeah,
happening. But I think it's never enough. I think
it's
that
not,
it's always that we need to strive for more and more and more every time. But like you said, for people who do have access, who can afford it, and it's not even something really expensive, it's something that what we have to bear now,
yeah,
being in this position. It's not even like that, it's just that once a year you spend a little for your body. And I think that when in this generation we talk a lot about self-care, skin care and hair care and all of that care, okay, but self-care is actually taking
okay,
care of the body. no
exactly.
you know Take care, that is the most important form of self-care. Skincare will do later, pimples can go later, but that is your body, your insides,
I
that
have
needs
pimples
skincare.
when you're talking about this, but I will still not do skincare.
That will go. But then
Yeah,
the thing is about us, from
yeah,
inside, are we healthy or not? That's more of what self-care we need at this moment.
yes,
I feel that, I think self-care, if it is that important for everybody, they think that loving yourself is important, then that is the most important form of loving yourself, getting yourself checked and all of that
yeah,
things. So okay, now I've asked you all the deep questions and then
yeah.
now we'll talk about you a little bit, okay? So you said you're asymptomatic.
Yes,
Yes, high five.
initially, high
Yeah,
five.
now also very asymptomatic. Okay, and because we are asymptomatic, I had symptoms very less in the beginning, because that is why I went to the doctor also. But
Mhm.
like, yeah, see, I'm guilty as charged. Okay, whatever I'm saying now, I didn't do it, and now I am bearing the consequences of it. Okay, so I'm not saying that I was always going to the doctor, taking care of my health. No, I did not, because I didn't. That's why I am trying people to not make the same mistakes like me. Okay, so I was asymptomatic, nothing happened. Even now, actually, I don't get symptoms, and then later my reports say otherwise, and and I'm like, oh, and then we always get this, no, like you don't look sick at all. How do you deal with it? And is it a good thing that you don't look sick, or a bad thing? What do you think about it?
I feel like it's mixed. Even though you don't look sick, sometimes you feel sick. You feel You feel drained, you feel like something is clearly wrong, but you can't like put a pinpoint and say because you're asymptomatic. That is the thing. But at the same time, it's a blessing in disguise because no one looks at you sick. But I mean, see, if for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, I go to by train to college every day. I have a first class pass and all of that, but still sometimes it gets really full, and sometimes like we are standing for so long, so I feel like I need to sit down because I genuinely feel very tired. So
Mm.
sometimes that times I feel like okay, see, because I don't look sick. No, if anyone knew I had cancer, they'd be like, please sit there, please lie down also if you want. But because I don't look sick, people don't know. So that is one thing. But see, yesterday also I went to the hospital. I went to the blood test guy, and then the blood test guy is giving me the tube for collecting blood. So he's telling me, and then he's like, bring the patient in. And I was like, excuse me, I'm the patient. I was like that. And then he was like, he literally had genuine concern in his eyes. And with a smile, he was like, oh, you're the patient? And I was like, yeah, I'm the patient. Then he was like, okay, go sit. So now I don't have energy to explain also. I'm just like, no, बहुत लंबी कहानी है, लंबा कहानी है, so I can't explain. But yeah, I'm the patient. Then it's like that.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
get that a lot. And I sometimes I feel really good saying that, oh yeah, I'm the patient. Even though I walk with a crutch and I still get that, okay? I
yeah,
walk with a crutch
you look
and
so good.
still,
I mean, nobody can look at you also and say you're the patient. Definitely.
like I literally walk with a crutch. Either way, I'm a patient. Okay, so and, like, and still they will give me that look like, are you the patient? Like, you really the
Mhm.
patient? Yes, me, I'm the
I
patient.
know this
And
happens.
also,
This happens most often, especially like sometimes the hospital is really crowded, okay, and you're sitting in one seat. So sometimes people come and say, if you're not the patient,
patient.
get up. Then
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
excuse me, I'm the patient.
And we have been to these busy hospitals, we know
Yeah,
that very well, getting a seat, running for that, and putting a packet or anything, whatever we have in our hand, a bag, we'll just throw it in the seat and like taken. Like,
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
a full Hunger Games there. I know that
Yeah,
very well because me and my mom would just be scanning for one seat,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
I really understand that, and I feel like sometimes we become that person, like we get so irritated not getting a say, and people are just sitting there and be like, "Excuse me,
Yeah,
patient." It's
yeah.
like, so I understand that feeling a lot. Like I can really relate to that. But no, there is something else that comes
Mhm.
along with this when people keep on telling that you don't look sick, you don't look sick, you don't look sick, you
Yeah.
don't look sick. And one day, God forbid, you just feel like drained and you are tired and your face looks a bit dull and everything, and someone will pinpoint it. Especially the mothers, I don't know what is wrong with them. Okay, so they'll just be like, "You look so like you look so dull.
That is
What
so,
happened?"
that is every day, no, Yasmin. Like, see, every day my mother looks at me, oh, you become so weak. Look at you, your skin and bone. Then I'm like, no, I'm been like this only. And no, but outside, and you said, God forbid we look dull. I feel dull every day. Yeah. Sometimes I feel really good, but I don't know. This
So
week
that
was
is
so
not your problem. That is your generation's problem. Let me just put that out there. My sister looks dull every day, okay, for no reason. She just look like, I'm done with this world. I just need to sleep. And then I look at them and I be like, how are we so energetic? Like, she'll be like, you kind of look dull today. What happened to you? And she'll say it in a loving way, but these mothers, they don't understand that this really gets into us. And that day, no, I'll keep looking at myself like, am I starting to look sick? That thing goes in my head so much. So I think that when people keep on saying you don't look sick, and that one day that you look sick, like every normal human being, a day that they look a bit sick, they're tired or exhausted or anything. And then for us, feeling drops in like so many levels, and I just feel so terrible at that day, like thinking that, is it really that I'm looking sick now, or is it something going wrong inside, or that fear, I hate that fear, like the anxiety feeling that something's wrong. Like, I think nowadays, I think you can relate, we associate everything with cancer, don't you? Like,
feel like there's this kind of PTSD. Have you heard of it? So now, even in our family, if anyone else other than me falls sick, we immediately go to the worst case scenario because they've dealt with cancer firsthand. They think, okay, I'm having slight back pain. What is this? I mean, everything is associated with that because of the amount of trauma that we've gone through. It's just become a normal thing now.
I think that is the worst part, I think, for us or for
Yeah,
any person. having a chronic illness, I think we always tend to associate that with that illness every
Yeah.
single time. And I think that fear never goes. Like even when you maybe one day will be announced that, oh, you're in remission, you're good to go now, but then I think every little thing will scare the hell out of us for like throughout our lives. I feel, I think that fear is
But
never going to
we can't
leave us.
take anything lightly because anything
Mhm.
would be something. So if the moment you take that lightly, it becomes a bigger thing. There'll be a problem. So when it's light itself, we have to go. But that is the scary part because you're like, okay, what if something's going wrong? So that is a problem.
You said before that just because we say we cannot stop doing things, so just
Yeah,
because we have constant fear, I don't think then that other things should be like, postponed or withheld, or like, I will not do this anymore, we'll deal with this fear first, because that fear
yeah,
is never going. It's like I do have that fear, but I also try to distract myself as much as I can.
yeah.
And what is your distraction other than your college? What do you do other than that?
What do I do? Good question. No, I'm thinking myself, what do I do? So what do I do? I see now I'm having vacation. The happiest I am is in when I'm at home, like when I'm not doing anything, don't have any agenda and all of that. And just like, relaxing, watching some stuff on TV. Now I've started podcasts, so the editing itself is a big headache. If I don't have any editing itself, I'm happy. So
I'm just thinking about editing this. I'm like, okay.
stuff like that. We're just talking to my mom or my sister or my friends, and just like, when things are going good, I'm usually my most happiest. When I'm in perfect health, nothing is wrong, stuff like that.
Okay, that's nice. That's really nice. Like, do you think that awareness is important? And if you do, why? And also, what is your message to people?
See, awareness is very important because, see, I always, when I was sick, I wanted to look at someone who's going through something similar so I could at least feel like, okay, I'm not alone. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine the strength and the power if you are able to share your story with someone. And there's, okay, even if like only 20 people see it, but if there's one person who can relate and say, okay, it's so nice that someone else is like me going through something similar, they are encouraging someone. So if you share your cancer story, it's like that. So that is one thing for cancer patients to think about. And for people who have cancer, one more thing which you can do is spread awareness that, okay, see, I was leading a perfectly healthy lifestyle, I was doing everything by the book, but still this happened to me, so this can happen to you too. So not scaring you or something, since this can happen to you, but take precautions, like don't do bad habits and stuff, and go for screening, do stuff which matters, lead a healthy lifestyle, go for, like, don't be like so stressed out. I feel like now this generation is so stressed about everything, that also plays some kind of negative impact on your body. So stuff like that, that is why awareness is very important. And also, like, I feel sometimes people who don't have cancer, I was guilty of that. We're so stuck up in our own world. I did not know there exists a world like this. Like there are so many people suffering, especially now since we are talking about cancer. So many people are talking. So I feel like if I was a little bit more aware, I would have gone and at least seen, okay, this is also a part of our world. Our world is not perfect. Something like this is going on. So you can do something to support them. That would be such a big blessing. So I feel like that is awareness aspects, which I feel like people should follow. See, the young people, I would say, is don't judge someone by their appearance here. That's like a very harsh thing, that this generation is too judgmental. You look at someone who's going through so much and you just stare at them as if that's going to make them feel better. Instead, if they are isolated, you go talk to them. They'll feel special. Don't look at them like that poor thing mentality. Instead, because we've been on the other side, we've been the patient sitting there and we've felt isolated at many times. Now, if you go and do the same thing to them, they'll feel so sad. That's really a very sad thing. And one more thing I feel like people should understand, I mean, if anyone with cancer is watching this, young person, don't let cancer define you. You are so much more than cancer. You're not just that kid with cancer, that boy with cancer, or whatever. This is one aspect of your life. You have to go for treatment and stuff like that. But you can do so many other things. Like, see, I think even us, for example, we are trying to do different things and branch out because we don't want to be that sick girl or someone like that. We are more than that. So yeah, that was one thing which I would say to people who are having cancer. And for young people, don't be judgmental. I feel like that is one biggest thing. And I think we left lots of advice in between. If you've seen it,
Yeah.
then all of that also.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much that you agreed to do this, and I'm really happy that you're my first guest because I was the first guest too, and I think it's like a full circle moment. So for everyone watching, I'll bring more of these kind of interviews with more people who have seen their real life struggles or other people who've seen other people struggle, like caretakers and all of those things. So I'm happy that I've started this. I want that people support me more. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll come with more videos like this. And I will also continue my other videos. And so do watch it and keep supporting. Bye. See you.